Today I'm going to talk to you about what I call the BHAG goals. And people want to know what I'm talking about with this. And this is called big, hairy, audacious goals. And I'm a firm believer that most of us have the ability to focus for about 60 days. So something I've done for years, I do 5 60-day goal sessions every year where I'm extremely focused for 60 days. And then I take not necessarily a week off, but I take my guard down a little bit, I refocus, I get ready, and I do it again. And if you do 5 very powerful 60-day goals in the course of a year, you will absolutely crush it. So what I want you to do is use your imagination right now, and I want you to imagine a circle. And if you're following along today, you can actually draw this circle on your paper. Draw a circle maybe the size of a medium-sized pancake. And then draw a line across the middle, and the top part, I want you to write what your goal is. What your goal is in the first 60 days. And then on the bottom part, I want you to write your why. Now the why must be extremely strong, because if you don't have a strong why, a strong purpose, a strong reason you're doing this, you'll first mentally quit, and then what you'll do is you'll physically quit. Now, you guys have probably heard before that in order to succeed, you have to have a plan, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So what I want you to do now, this is a simple session here that works with everybody, and all of this can be done on one page. So I want you at 2 o'clock of that circle, I want you to put the word more and put a circle there, almost like a Mickey Mouse here. And then at 10 o'clock on the other side, I want you to put the word less. So you've got like 2 Mickey Mouse ears that are smaller pancakes coming off the big circle. Down at 4 o'clock, you're going to have like little stub legs, and you're going to put stop. And then over on the left-hand side, you're going to have another circle, and you're going to put start. So you've got 5 circles on your paper. Now, when you start to fill in your plan, the plan must be SMART. We've probably all heard that before. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable. The R is a little bit different from different philosophies around this world, but R for me stands reviewable by somebody other than yourself, which is all about accountability. And T, you must have a timetable. So the goal is, with all the things you're going to fill in with your more, less, and start and stop, which is your plan, you want about 75% of them to fit into the SMART. In other words, they must be specific. Okay, so specific, measurable, because someone keeps score of it, is going to be held accountable, is there a timetable on it? Now we know that not everything can be in that SMART time frame, but you want most of them. In other words, you don't just want to say you want to get better in your prospecting. You want to say, I want my prospecting to get to the point where I'm spending 16 hours every 2 days, or I want to have an 86% conversion rate. Those are specifics. Now, people say, well, Gary, this is all good and everything, and you've got a goal, and you've got a why, and you have a plan. But what I'd like to do now is take this to another level, and why we call this the BHAG goals, because it absolutely works if you follow it. At the bottom of the paper, I want you to draw 3 lines. And the first line, I want you to write the word reward. The second line, I want you to write the word penalty. And the third line, I want you to write the word accountability partner or partners. Let's talk about the reward for a moment. Most of us are driven to run away from fear and run away from pain more than we are driven to move towards pleasure. i.e., we'll go for to win a company trip or to be recognized, but long term we'll work harder to avoid pain. So you've got to make that big prize you're going to give yourself. If you're pushing yourself to hit that goal in 60 days, it has to be delicious. It has to be yummy. It has to be something that's really something you wouldn't normally do. I'll give you an example. One of my past clients was a high-level manager at Wells Fargo Financial, and I was his coach, and we talked about some goals that he wanted to hit. He said, if I hit that goal, I'm taking my whole family on a 3-day cruise. He was out of Atlanta, Georgia, and he was going to take his whole family, his 2 kids and his wife, down to a 3-day cruise to Florida, and I mean, right off the coast of Florida. And I said, you know what, why don't you take that to another level? Why don't you, if you do that, why don't you do it all first class? They get picked up in a limo, you're gonna be in a suite on the boat. And a matter of fact, I think you could even take it better than that. Why don't you go down today and get a brochure at the travel agency and come home tonight and have a goal chart that you want to show your family and show the brochures and tell the whole family, for the next 60 days, Dad's going for this goal. And I want you guys every single day to hold me accountable to this. And we'll fill in the goal chart every single day to see how we're doing. And it was a delicious prize. It was a wonderful prize. And every day those kids were right there, okay, pushing Dad to get there. And he hit that goal in 35 days out of 60. I had another gentleman that was a gun collector. And, you know, he collected all different type of guns. But he told me there was this one gun in particular that he wanted. And that gun was over $10,000. And, you know, with that, he could pretty much buy what he wanted and his wife wouldn't care. But if it's over $10,000, he probably had to have that conversation with her. And so he told his wife he's going for this goal and he wants this gun. And he was very motivated to get it. And again, because he followed this system of a goal, a why, a plan, and a reward, he hit the goal in 42 days. Now let's talk about the penalty for a moment. Like I said before, people run away from pain. If the pain is so severe, people will do anything not to get it. I'll give you a couple stories here too. One of my past clients was an insurance agency called Heffernan Insurance, and they had 20 salespeople, 10 on one side of the office. They have beautiful windows outside their office, you know, looking out the window. They had a desk and they had a couch inside their office. They all had individual offices with their own executive assistant right outside their office. And Owen was the guy I was working with at the time, and Owen absolutely needed to hit a goal by a certain date. And what he said is that if he didn't hit his goal in those 60 days, he would switch with his executive administrator, and for an entire year, she would get his office, and he would have to sit out in the cubicle that his executive assistant worked in. And he was in the end one, which was the one near the bathroom and near the kitchen where everybody talked. So it was not necessarily the best deal. 21 days, he hit his goal. That's how motivated he was to make sure it didn't happen. I had another gentleman that went through a divorce, and honestly, he didn't really care for his ex-wife that much. And I was his coach, and he actually gave me $10,000 in an envelope to hold for him. And he said that if he didn't hit his goal during this period, I would go hand $10,000 to his ex-wife, which just killed him. 53 days, he hit his goal. So I ask you, as you look at this, what would be your rewards and what would be your penalties that would absolutely encourage you not to quit this goal that you so badly want? The last part is sometimes when we do things on our own, we do fall back a little bit. We have a stumbling block. But if you have an accountability partner and you're willing to be held accountable by somebody other than yourself, which I talked about a moment ago, you usually go between 7 and 11 times more likely to be successful. So you're going to want to put on your paper the name of 1 or 2 people that you know absolutely are strong enough to truly hold you accountable. So there we have it, the 60-day BHAG goal circles. What if you did this 5 times a year? What would that do for your life? What would it do for your income? Go out and get them.